The views and opinions expressed on Deliberately Linked are entirely those of the host, who are completely responsible for all show content. These views and opinions are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure in any way any kind of condition, or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or personal practice. Nor is the information presented deemed to be accurate or verifiable.
What is up, Deliberately Linked viewers? Lace them up and lock it in, because on today's show, Mark and I are going to discuss what it takes to be the best you in 2020. Happy New Year, baby.
Choices. 2020 should be exciting.
It is. This is a good year.
What's better than one $20 bill? Two $20 bills.
Oh, okay. Or 20. That was my college number. Let's
that
go.
was. I didn't even think about that.
Let's go.
I forgot all about that.
Let's
Well,
get
they
it.
wouldn't let you have 25?
Nah, it was taken by a pretty solid junior, I think, when I came in. So, yeah, 20 it was, but that's okay.
Had to drop the quarter and take 2 dimes.
Legacy in high school, legacy in college.
I get
Not
I get
so
it.
much.
I get
Not
it.
so much. I didn't.
No,
like
but
legacy.
as we come into this new year, there's so much to be thankful for from last year, and fortunately, there's some carryover. We're still excited that going into 2020, we work with some. I'm telling you guys, Josh and I, if you don't know by now, we're big time mom and pop guys.
For sure.
You know, small town people who are just investing in themselves, investing in their customers.
Yeah.
And we're so fortunate that we get to surround ourselves with those people, you know. So as we venture into 2020 on this first day of 2020, you know, I love that we're still working with Serenity Home Improvements. They had a killer year last year, so much growth,
No doubt.
so much learning. I'm sure, you know, eventually we probably have to have JP on here and he can
have
talk
to.
about,
Yeah.
you know, all the things that he's done. You know, I'm sure in 2020 we need to go meet up again with some CrossFit veneration and see where
Storm,
they're headed
yeah.
and see what Storm's doing.
Uh-huh.
You know, guys, because that's what we're about here. You know, we, as Storm said, we like to be a part of a tribe.
Yeah.
You know, a tribe of people who are all working for the same thing, and we work in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as we continue to 2020, you know, working with Serenity Home Improvements, watching the way they have an impact on other people and the way they can do it through their vision and their skill set. You know, which is creating and performing projects for you that allow you to make your dreams come reality. And that's what they do. They're not just a construction company. They really want to work with your family to help your family be the best themselves.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that vision is. So you can look them up on Facebook. You can find them at serenityhomeimprovements.com. Or you can call them out directly at 740-390-8773. So 2020 is going to be a big year for Serenity Home Improvements. Happy we're still working with them.
Yeah, no, I hope a lot of you guys took advantage of that 5% off.
In
I know
December, yeah.
I talked to a couple people that were super interested in not only their work, but the 5% was definitely enticing to them. So I haven't followed up with them to see
And I'll
if
tell
they
you right
followed
now,
me
knowing
through.
JP the way I do, give him a call and try to throw that out there. It may be an expired coupon, but he's a softie, so JP's going to hate me for saying that, but
he might show you some love. That's
he's
good.
a big softie.
Yeah, no, we're super excited to have them on the show, guys. Again, Serenity Homes, they're still here for you as they
Yeah.
are for us. So we appreciate having them on the show. So
Yeah.
thank you, guys.
Absolutely. So what did you say the title for today's show is?
The best you is the best for everyone.
Okay, which we say that a lot.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And it's the time of year where most people, they get drunk and they get these ideas that I want to be the best me while they're drunk, which doesn't make a lot of sense because while you're drunk, you're definitely not the best you.
Yeah, but that's when some really good
And if you're
ideas
not
come
drinking on
up.
New Year's, I don't mean to judge everybody, throw everybody in that circle there, but a lot of New Year's resolutions are made with a drink in the hand.
Yeah, but
Okay.
sometimes the best. I know a lot of great businesses that were created drunk.
Well, no, okay, so great story. Great story you brought that up. So in November, all the guys grow mustaches.
Yeah.
You know, it's for like prostate cancer. So,
Oh, it's
you
actually
ever-
for a cause?
Oh, yeah. Have
No
you heard?
shave,
Have
no
you heard
shave
this?
November.
Correct. So have you heard how it started?
No.
Okay, so these 4 dudes, they're in a bar. They're in this pub, right? And I want to say they're from Australia. All right?
Okay.
And so they're 4 friends. They're all in a pub, and they're all just getting plastered. And the one guy said, man, we should bring back like 80, and this is his words, porn stashes.
Nice.
And so his buddy's like, that's stupid. And they're like, no, let's just do it. They're like, we're not going to shave our mustaches for the month of November. That's how it happened. That's how it started. So they did it.
Okay.
And it took off like wildfire. And then everybody else wanted to jump in and say, hey, we're not going to shave either. We're growing back these mustaches,
Right.
da-da-da. Well, what happened is they're like, the one guy's like, hey, man, this actually went off the way. You know, I didn't expect it. That's kind of cool. Let's see if we can raise some money and do something cool with this. Started raising money for Men's Health. Men are the guys that grow mustaches. If you're a girl that grows a mustache, I'd worry about the vitamins you're taking. But whatever. So they started going to all these other corporations to get them involved, and everybody kept shooting them down. Well, they just stayed and did it like locally. And then after 4 or 6 years of doing this, they had made so much money. Basically, the Americas and the corporations in America wanted to get involved, and that's how it blew up to where it is. But it all started in a pub.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be a crazy twist on the.
No, that's how it started. The reason I bring.
I mean, you heard that guy. There's all right. So one guy walks into the bar. I thought that's what this.
The only reason I bring that up is because when we were running our non-for-profit, May is Melanoma Awareness Month,
right?
And so we always did. We called them Mohawks for melanoma.
Yeah.
And we called them Mayhawks.
Okay.
So every May we would shave our head into like a faux hawk.
Gotcha.
And do a different hairstyle. And then when people would ask you, same with the mustache thing, why are you growing a mustache? Trying to raise awareness of prostate cancer.
Gotcha.
Why'd you change your hair? Raising awareness for melanoma.
Yeah.
So that's how I know the story.
Huh. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I still have a vintage shirt that says Mayhawk on
I
it.
can't
somewhere.
grow a mustache.
I can, but when I do, it automatically comes with like, a judge signed order that I'm not allowed near in elementary school. So it's funny how it works. And I've never been in trouble.
Or in the same bed with your wife.
She would, yeah. Heather has no desire for that. Sometimes I tease her and just keep it. I like shave the beard and just go in with the mustache. She literally tells me turn right back around.
Yeah, get out of here, Pablo.
Yeah. Shelby says if I grow a mustache, I have to drive a van with curtains in it.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, Shelby's our oldest daughter.
Hey,
so.
old man, we understand you look great in your mustache.
Yeah.
Okay, you're about the only one that can rock it.
He does rock a good mustache.
Man, to this day.
You don't choose a mustache; the mustache chooses you.
That's it. That's it right there. Show's over.
Sean McConnell, who's a very dear friend of mine, nicknames Pup. You know Sean.
Yeah.
Sean listens to our show all the time. Sean grows one of the best Fu Manchus of all time.
Okay.
He looks like a 1980s movie where like he would be an arm wrestler or a truck driver.
Those are the guys you don't want to mess with in a dark alley.
Oh no, Sean.
Fu Manchu, like I'm out.
No.
Boy, what?
And Sean, you don't, because Sean's getting older, but he has like this level of drive. Like he's the type of guy you break his arm, it almost gives him more power. He's like the reverse of the character Glass.
Okay,
like the more you hurt him, the more powerful he gets. It's weird, but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mark, 2019 was a whirlwind, I think, for, man, I don't know, at least it was for me.
It went fast.
It went super fast. I mean, good Lord. We launched Visionary Meals.
Well, you did, yeah.
Technically, it was
Soft launch in 2018,
yeah, but
full
really,
scale launch 2019.
Yeah, so we just definitely.
Well, there's a lot of
completed-
change this past winter.
There was a ton.
Yeah, we went as together and independently. We went through
Yeah.
a ton of change this past winter, so it was a quick year.
It was, yeah. I mean, man, you come to the end of a full physical year, and you start looking ahead of 2020, and that is the time where, man, nationwide, everyone starts reevaluating what
Across the board.
2020 or the following year is going to look like, and it is interesting. You brought up something before the show of why people do it, at the beginning of the new year, and you're like, I don't know if I agree with this. And
January 1 to me is a bad idea.
okay, so I don't know if you want to get into that now. Or you want
No, I mean it's fine.
I
I think most people that listen to this show realize that I don't think like normal people.
You're right.
And it's not that I try to be different. I'm very analytical. So in my head, I judge myself, and then I judge what my January looks like, which it always starts with a New Year's party.
Right.
You have people over. It's like Christmas part due.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of food, none of which is good for you. There's adult beverages that are included, which high in calories and carbs, not good for you.
Right.
And then what do you have? You have bowl games. As Buckeye fans, hoorah, go Kennedy Cook.
Yeah.
We'll be watching that, and more food and probably more adult beverages that aren't good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have like playoff games, and what are you doing?
So
what are you doing?
So a lot of these individuals that start all these New Year's resolutions as far as eat healthier and
What
stuff
are you
like
doing?
that. Like you're saying it's the worst time of year.
It depends on what your resolution is, but I would say across the board, in 2018 the top 5 resolutions were as follows: eat healthier, exercise more, save more money, focus on self, and read more.
Yeah.
So in my January, I will not be eating healthier. My time, I'll exercise, but it won't be the best exercise because we're slamming busy.
For sure.
Saving more money. No, I'll spend more money.
Right.
Focus on myself. Once again, time.
Yeah.
And read more. Time.
Yeah.
So it's like January, to start out in January, I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm going to fail. It's like, but this goes back to the whole resolution thing. So it's like, you don't, I guess culture says start your resolution on New Year's, and that's how it works. I don't think you can set goals
I like it. That's where,
anytime.
yeah.
But I would advise most people to do a full reflection and say, when's the best time for me to set these are what I want, and okay, but I'm going to put my action plan together.
Yeah.
Make it easy on yourself, and don't try to put your action plan when you're in the middle of a freaking storm.
Well, Mark, I agree with you, and I've ever since I fully could grasp and understand what New Year's resolutions were and kind of how they worked, and then when I really became, I guess we'll call it goal oriented in my life, I've always, for the past 5 years or so, have thought New Year's resolutions were the biggest BS.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in why wait?
Sure.
Why wait until you're in November and you're like, man, I really want to change my life by eating healthier or starting to work out or self-development. My thing is, because so many individuals do it, and I was literally just talking with a business partner of mine, and he was saying, he's like, yeah, I know it's messed up, but I'm eating like crap until January.
Yeah.
And then literally that day, I was talking to someone else. They're like, yeah, I'm just kind of going all out until New Year's because that's when I'm going to start.
Yeah.
That's 60% of Americans, guys, are going to make New Year's resolutions, but only 8% achieve them. So, in my opinion, if you change your perspective, all right, you're going to change your position. So, like Mark said, take away the New Year's resolution and let's start getting specific in our goal setting and stop waiting.
Well, so I read the top 5. Eat healthy, exercise more. Okay, but what does eat healthy look like? I'm going to have a salad every day now?
Exactly.
No, get specific. I'm going to eat healthier in 2020. Yeah. Okay. Sit down and write up what that looks like.
Yes. Yeah. Get specific.
Create some meal plans.
Right.
Take away the options. This is what I'm going to do. I want to exercise more. Okay, so you're going to go for a walk? No, I'm going to commit to myself X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Write it down. I'm going to save money. I just had this conversation with my daughter. She's 16. She wants to. She does. All our kids are fortunately. My wife and I are very frugal. We're very responsible with our money. We don't like debt.
Yeah.
And we pass it on to our children, not out of like a suppression thing, but just out of an intelligence thing. And she's like, Chris, and she's 16. She has a job. What do most 6 do? She has a huge heart. She wants to buy everybody a Christmas present. Okay, so we'll give yourself a budget.
Right.
Give yourself a budget. Work within your budget. Don't break your budget. And then she's like, man, I just have no money. I'm pulling out of X, Y, and Z. I'm going to get it here. Okay, that's great. 2020, you go into the bank. You say, I need to set up a separate savings account. I want 10% of every check that comes through to go to that account. That's your holiday account. You don't touch it. But that's now specific.
Yeah.
I want to save more money. Okay, what's it look like? You're going to put all your change in a milk jug at home?
Right.
No. Set an action plan.
Correct.
And that's what I told her. Be progressive.
You have to, because so many individuals, you're going to sitting around in a living room, the ball's going to drop, everyone's toasting, cheering, giving hugs, kissing their loved ones, whatever it might be, and you might go, so what's your New Year's resolution? Everyone in that room is going to say what they're going to try to do and where they're going to improve in their life, and I guarantee you, a week from that day, you're not doing it.
Correct.
You need to, I would, before New Year's, guys, or since you're listening to this on New Year's or after, go figure out what that goal is, and like Mark said, be progressive. Go write it down. Go write it down. Guys, it's as simple as this, but any goal or anything that you are after to achieve, if you don't write it down, the percentage of you not achieving that is like,
what was it? 36% fail if you don't write it down?
Yeah, or something drastic.
No, wait. 67% of people who write it down are more likely to succeed.
Correct.
That's what it is.
So go write it down, but don't just write down like Mark was saying, make more money or save more money.
Be specific.
How are you going to save more money? Because for our athletes, guys, I mean, I did it going into college. I was like, okay, I'm going to go into college, and this was young in my self-development life, and again, I'm still very young in it. But I went into college and I said I want to start special teams.
Sure.
My freshman year. Okay. Well, my chances just decreased because that's all I did. That's all I said. Because and what I didn't start special teams my freshman year. So if you're that individual saying, hey, I want to be the starting quarterback, the starting linebacker, put things into action on how you're going to become the starter, okay? Go sign yourself up at a gym membership. Commit to yourself that you're going to go into the school before school starts and run ladders and run sprints and get a workout in, and then you're going to go to school, and then you're going to eat, and then you're going to go to your activities after. Yeah. It's those little things, guys, that you put in action now and steps that are going to get you that much closer.
So in life coaching, we function in a circle.
Yeah.
We have this every new person I sit down with, it's a blank circle.
Yeah.
But the circle doesn't change, and the system itself doesn't change. Just the information you put in is what's different.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of your circle, and life coaching for me, it's very important that people have to understand like where your focus begins. And in my world, focus always begins with God. I fail at that all the time, but that's where I want my focus to begin.
Amen.
So that's always at the top of the circle. And then we go to your vision. So currently in this topic, we're talking about New Year's resolutions. We're talking about goals. That's your vision. Where do you envision yourself, right? So then we move on that to the bottom of the circle, and it's like, okay, what are my action steps?
Yeah.
Here's my vision. What are my action steps? But then we finish our circle with the challenges. That's the goal. Folks, when we say an action plan, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get specific. I'm going to write down all the specifics. That's great. Also write down what all your challenges, what the potential adversities are going to be. Yeah. So when you come to those, you're like, okay, I was prepared for this to happen. I knew I was going to go to a birthday party where there was going to be cake and ice cream and cookies and all of my favorite things, and everybody's going to get to enjoy it, and I'm trying to stick to this new eat healthier. Yeah. Okay, well, I knew I was going there. So if you see that and you envision that, now you can plan and prepare for that. Correct. And set yourself up to win and not fail.
No, Mark, that's perfect, and I love the direction that you've just taken this point, because you said a little bit earlier, you think a little bit different than other people, and what, good or bad, I love it.
Yeah.
I find myself thinking, different than other people as well at times. And one thing that I've always done growing up, and still to this day do, I think when you have specific goals in mind, this sounds crazy. The first one, not so much. Okay, first you need to reward yourself.
Yeah.
All right. The second one sounds a little psychotic, but that's just who I am. But I honestly, I'll quote unquote punish myself.
Correct.
If I fail at a goal in my, whether it's short term, long term, or whatever it is, or not even fail at that goal, because we're always striving to reach these goals, and at times we're going to come into roadblocks. But if I trip, good point. So, for example, silly example, when I was pretty young and I was learning about physical activity and diet and nutrition and working out and what this was, I used to, silly at a young age, because it doesn't matter, your metabolism so fast, but at a young age, my buddy Clayton Plute and I grew up together, great athlete, but we'd always hold each other accountable. And that's another point within this topic, is accountability. But
the right accountability, we'll get to
correct, that. Yeah. But the times that we would fall short in our diet, when we would go to a graduation party and like eat junk food, we're like, all right, man, we gotta get down. We gotta do 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups. We're like, all right, we're doing this, and we do this like in just in public. But it's silly then, and it wasn't really necessary then. But it really created that foundation and that mindset for myself today. So rewarding yourself and punishing yourself, guys. If you're coming up on a weekend, and let's just say we're pertaining to our diet, because going on a diet,
because it's probably been the number one resolution for 50 years.
Seriously, but it's so overlooked and just looked at really in the wrong way. It's people go on these diets, they really should be changing their lifestyles. But if you're on this diet, if you're in this process of changing your lifestyle, for myself personally, this is what I've just found to work for me, is I'll be strict, Monday through Friday, really Sunday through Friday. Okay. And then come the weekend, I'll be completely guilt-free. Yeah. And I'll share a bottle of wine with my wife. Yeah. I'll go out to dinner. I'll eat dirty. I'll do this and that. If I trip up midweek, though, it's having that mental discipline to not allow myself, hey, Wednesday, you ate like crap, Josh. You don't get to reward yourself for Saturday.
Correct.
It's having that personal discipline within yourself is what's going to help you achieve these goals.
Well, I think we talk about the show on mindset all the time. The mind is super, super powerful. But what happens is we allow ourselves to emotionally give in, per se, where in turn you need to make your emotions as tough as your goals.
Yeah.
It's you use the word punishment. Okay, punishment's a good word, but at the same time, it's like you need to just literally get yourself into a position where you're like, okay, it's not punishment, but there's trade-offs.
Correct.
there's these trade-offs. I did X, Y, and Z. This isn't part of my plan. So this week I'm going to trade this for this, and I'm going to get back to this. And I always tell people too, with your action plan, resolution, whatever you want to call it, I think you'd probably do better and be more successful if you're tying it as a goal. You have to sit down with yourself and be honest and say, A, is this realistic?
Right.
B, what am I willing to sacrifice? And if you look at it and say, well, gosh, I wish this to be true, okay, that's not going to happen. What I would challenge you to do is start small.
Yeah.
No one walks into a gym and says, I'm going to do a 60-inch box jump.
Right.
No, okay, start with a 12-inch.
Correct.
Work your way up. So if your action plan is to, like, let's say, exercise more, okay, you go into the gym and instantly you get on the bench press and you haven't bench pressed in 15 years, and now you're like, oh, my shoulders are sore, my arms are sore. You're not going back tomorrow.
Nope.
Go in, start with some bands, do some push-ups at home, start small and build yourself up. Because all you're doing is setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah.
It's okay to start small. This is a marathon. This isn't a sprint.
Right.
You're doing something. I want to make 2020 the best me.
Correct.
That's a whole year.
For sure.
Take baby steps.
It takes time.
If in the month of February you want to say, I'm not going to eat potato chips in the month of February, okay, take away one thing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to go to fast food at lunch at work. Okay, take away one thing.
Yeah.
Start small.
And it really is as simple as it sounds, guys. And so many people are like, well, obviously that sounds really simple, but there wouldn't only be 8% of people at the end of the year if it was that
Correct.
simple. So it's finding that really you got to find that place mentally, guys. And you know me, episode one of my favorite things is it's all mental. And if you can't get to yourself mentally with that goal in mind, I promise you, like Mark said, you're going to fail. But Mark brings up a great point. Don't bite off more than you can chew. All right? Take baby steps into these goals. And if that's what it takes when you write this goal down is your title of overall and broad spectrum thinking of eat healthier, okay, then go into steps like we're saying how to eat healthier.
Well, I always find it funny because we hear it all the time. I have daughters too and a wife, and it's like, oh, it's about to be bathing suit weather. Okay, so why are you trying to get ready in May?
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, a lot of people say, well, I want to eat healthier because I want to have a six-pack, or I want to drop so many jean sizes, whatever it may be. That is a process.
It is. It doesn't happen overnight.
You're not going to eat healthy for 1 week and then naturally look better.
Yeah.
You might lose a few pounds, but you're not going to reach your goal. So then you get discouraged and you quit. No, it's a process.
It is a process.
If your process is I want to be healthier, my first question I'm going to ask you is why?
Right.
You know, and that brings up a point with every resolution, every goal, every action plan. Why?
What's your why?
You know, if your why is based upon the desires of others, you are going to fail. Now, your why can say, I want to be the best me because I know the best me is going to have a positive influence on others, but that's fine. Your why should be selfish.
Yeah.
I want to be healthier because I want to feel good.
Yeah.
I want to feel good about myself, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever that may be. What is your why? And it needs to be a selfish why.
Yeah.
Because you say, well, I want to get in shape because I want my wife to think I'm sexier. Okay, well, I'm here to tell you something, folks. Getting in shape probably ain't going to work.
Right.
I mean, I could learn how to play guitar and sing like a boy band, but that ain't going to make my wife like me anymore.
Right.
I mean, it just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, you need to do this for yourself.
For sure.
Because ultimately that's what's going to drive you, too.
No doubt. Well, Mark, I also like to look at it is I think it's super important. This is something we haven't really touched on the show, but having a goal within a goal.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we've talked about having the overarching goal of something that's fairly broad, and then you go into the specifics. Well, if you have the discipline and the mindset to achieve whatever goal that you set out to achieve, well, eventually you're going to achieve it. And why so many people the following year fail at the goal that they already achieved is because they didn't have a next step.
Correct.
Okay. So if your goal is to eat healthier and you go, okay, January, I'm going to make sure I get a gallon of water in every day. February, I'm eliminating the potato chips. All right. March, this is your caloric intake for that time. Well, once you eventually hit a stage of like, okay, I'm eating healthier. I made it. I did my goal. Well, then you have that gratifying feeling in your head that you accomplished something, which you did accomplish something. Congratulations. But if you don't have a next step from that goal, I promise you're just going to do what they call obviously a relapse. Okay, so
And I think that's your why has a lot to play in that.
and that's my point. And that's exactly right. So Mark was talking about your why. So what is your why? I'm actually gonna put my mom on the spot here because I know she'll be okay with me doing this. But she asked myself the other day, why do you work out, or what motivates you to work out? And I listed a list of reasons. And she the moral of the story was that she struggles to work out because she just can't find her why.
Yeah.
And she doesn't enjoy it. And this
She likes the idea of
she
it.
loves the idea of it,
Yeah.
but she just can't find herself to enjoy it. And I sat down and talked to her. I was like, Mother, we need to fully understand what is your why. Is your why because you want to be physically fit to be able to do the things with your future grandkids someday? Is that your why? If that's your why, then you got to stick to it and go get it. Having a deeper meaning behind your goals,
Well, that's
guys,
that's
is-
also the same thing with the Monday diet. I'll start Monday.
right.
I'll start Monday.
Exactly.
I'll start Monday.
Why? Why are you starting Monday?
Because they don't know what their why
Exactly.
is. Because if you look at yourself, if you go stand in front of a mirror, or I always use this. If there were things that you used to enjoy that you no longer can enjoy because of, let's say, your weight and the position you find yourself in physically, then that's huge. And if you're in that position, you don't need to start Monday.
Right.
You can literally say, I'm starting now.
If
I'm
that-
starting at lunch on a Thursday.
I love it.
Because you're like, I'm tired of this. There are things in life I used to enjoy I no longer can enjoy. Those are good whys. Don't live in regret.
Right.
I call it forward focused. Be forward focused.
Yeah.
I may not be able to go mountain climbing tomorrow, but if I stick to this plan in 6 months, I may be able to do this.
Right.
That's a good why.
It is.
Yeah, don't do it because you're like, I'm gonna look better for Instagram photos, or because I want people to find me pretty. No, first of all, I'll tell you this: you need to find yourself pretty. Okay, number one.
Amen.
Number two, I don't care what social media thinks about you. I care about what you think about you. Your why needs to be you.
Your why has to have purpose behind it, guys.
Yeah.
A like or an extra follow on
Who cares?
Instagram. There is no purpose within that. And if you're finding purpose within that, we got to find you help. But seriously, but finding that purpose. So guys, attaching that why to your goal will avoid any relapse that could ever come from it, and stay in that 8%. Keep you in that 8% of people that can stay.
And I think so far we've talked strictly about personal stuff. I think for the people that listen to the show who are entrepreneurs and business owners, this is another great opportunity for you to be forward focused with your business and say, okay, 2020, I'm going to reflect. We use the word reflect on 2019. What went right? What went wrong? What were some of the challenges we had? I want to now apply that to 2020, and I want to create an action plan.
Yeah.
Here's the things that we weren't very efficient at. How do we get more efficient? Don't just write down, be a more efficient in packaging department. No.
Right.
What can you do to be more efficient in the packaging department? Our overhead was too much on our shipping. Okay. What's the action plan? Yeah. Apply these same rules to your business, and then watch 2020 exceed your expectations.
Yeah. That's good. He said that perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I zoned out just listening to you.
Josh's like, oh, he started taking notes. No.
I'm taking notes on my own podcast. That was good.
We get so caught up, and we talk about this. We balance a very fine line on this show about being selfless and being selfish.
Right.
They both apply in the right time, in the right place. We've done a show on this, but they apply in every aspect of your life, personally, businessly, whatever it may be, spiritually. I mean, you can look at yourself and you say, I didn't live very well up to the standards I feel Christ calls me to live. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you fail? I'm telling you, I'm going through this right now. Where did I fail? What can I do to be better at that? What do I have to do? Here's the challenges I faced in 2019. How do I nullify those in 2020? Because it all applies.
Yeah.
It all works in a circle. Because when we say the best you is the best for everybody, we're not talking about the best you with a 6-pack and 20-inch biceps.
Right.
I'm talking about you all around, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's the best for everybody.
So, Mark, how do we suggest then for individuals to find their why and to stick to their why? Because it is hard, guys. We're not sitting here saying this stuff on the show. If you're watching or listening right now and saying, "Hey, just do this X, Y, and Z," and you're good. I understand it's very hard.
I think
it is hard.
The why is a process, and I think a lot of people are included in that process.
I find myself included in that process.
Yes.
We all have something that we would love to be better at, and you brought up the side of faith, Mark, and we're just going to go a little bit longer on that because I love that because it applies. It sounds like to both of us an area that we have both been excellent at. We both have been fantastic at times in our life with our walk and our faith. And then there's times where we're not.
I say on average, I'm average at it, and I don't want to be average.
Yes. So distractions are going to obviously come into play in our life, and how do we learn to balance those? And it's tough because I am perfect in multiple areas. Well, perfect is overrated. I am not perfect, but I do really, really
You
well.
excel.
I excel in some areas of my life of myself chasing my why. But you know what? Another area of my life where I find true purpose and passion and where my why is my walk in Christ. But at times, why do I find myself falling short
Well, it
to
all
the
goes-
devotion of Christ?
It all comes to sacrifice.
Exactly, and that's kind of where I'm going with
So,
this.
so as Christian men, this is going to sound bad, but I would challenge every person that listens to this that is a man of faith to argue with me on this. As Christian men, we live by a faith, and we know this to be true, that God is loving, He is forgiving, and He is full of grace.
Yeah.
And we get that. We literally get that in overflowing amounts.
Yeah.
So when we think about sacrifice, it's so easy to say, He'll forgive me,
Right.
He'll love me, and He'll continue to show me grace, shower
For
me
sure.
with grace. He does, and that's the bad thing about it.
Yeah.
He will do all those things. God will continue. He'll do that for anybody and everybody. But what we have to do is understand not only the privilege, but how important that is to us, and then not be willing to sacrifice it.
Yeah.
Because we look at the physical things in our life and say, well, if I don't get this done now, then I'm going to disappoint 8 other people.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guess what? At the end of the day, big picture, those 8 other people will be fine. I owe this to my Father.
Yeah, and grasping that mentally, it is tough.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's
No, and
hard.
you said, how do you find your why? In coaching, we talk about your why a lot, because 9 times out of 10, your why will not be understood by other people. But where other people come into play and your why is there are things about you that we don't see.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to discover your why, you're like, well, I don't know what my why is. How do I figure out my why is? You need to go to people that are trusted, that you know that you can get a non-biased opinion from, and you need to sit down with yourself and you need to write about 5 to 10 questions, random questions, like, what do you think my best attributes are? What do you think my best skill is? Where do you think my passion lies? What do you think are my things? And have those people answer those questions. And you're going to get you're probably going to get a lot of the same results, but then you're going to get some like flyers out there. You're like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And what that does is that allows you to focus on those things, allows you to pray on those things, and it really allows you to meditate on those.
Right.
And when you compile that information, you're basically educating yourself through the eyes of others, and that will really open your mind and broaden your mind to saying, here's where I'm missing opportunities, here's where I'm not living my potential.
Yeah.
And that's where you begin on your why.
That's why accountability partners are so important.
The right accountability partners.
Correct. So you said the right one. So enlighten the viewers on the difference of obviously accountability partners you should have in your corner.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think
Shut
first and foremost, accountability partner is a person that you have to be willing with yourself to allow you to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
A lot of us struggle with
which is hard to
criticism.
find, guys.
Yeah, well, we struggle with criticism.
Yeah.
A lot of our relationships are not built around criticism because we have soft relationships.
Yeah.
You need to find people that can sit down, and I don't mean they need to come out and say and be violent in their criticism of you. People that can sit down and calmly and say, "Hey, this is where you're failing." Prime example is I was just sitting with Josh and Ashley, and we're talking about the future of Visionary Meals, and we're talking about areas we want to succeed in, and really broaden the ability of what Visionary Meals does. And I said, this is a prime place for Ashley to excel.
Yeah.
I said, and Josh was sitting right here. I said,
Yeah.
but if we're going to watch Ashley excel in this, she needs to lock Josh out.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
some people are like, what the heck? What is that supposed to mean? No, the reality is if there's certain things in your life that if we want this to succeed, sometimes you got to take yourself out of the picture.
Just calling me a control freak.
And it's one of those things. And Josh was like, well, yeah, he's actually kind of right, because I could see how that would work.
For sure, no doubt.
But I know that I can be honest in this arena. And if feelings get hurt, but they also know it's coming from a good place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to surround yourself with those people who you say, hey, in 2020, I'm going to change my diet. This is my plan.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. And you tell those people, hey, when you see me slipping up or if you see me getting weak, I need your encouragement, but I also need you to keep me on my path.
Yeah. Well,
Workout partners is huge. If you want to be get into shape, find yourself a good workout partner.
guys, we've said it before, and obviously we're going to continue to say it. It's all going to come back around who you're surrounding yourselves with.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So if your goal is to change your diet, but your wife's goal is, and she can eat anything.
Yeah.
And if you obviously have those things in your household, it's got to be a group effort. So because well, let's just say if those individuals are surrounding your life whether you have that control and for them to be in your life or not, they all have to be on board with what your goals are as well.
Yeah.
Because
But I
they're going to
also will
hold
tell you, you
accountable.
have to be willing to overcome it if they're not.
You do, but I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Because I ain't going to accept no excuses.
For sure.
Yeah.
At that time, though, at the beginning stage, though, that support, finding those
It's
individuals
huge. It's huge.
to support you in the beginning stages it's tough, man. Changing a habit is extremely hard. But
Yeah.
Mark's right. If you aren't willing to do it just because of yourself, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, anybody can. I mean, we all can find people who are willing to give excuses to each other, and we'll all throw the pity parties if we wanted. I mean, I know a lot of people who sit down and just pity party each other.
Yeah.
There is no growth in there. There's no movement. You're stuck. You're treading water, and eventually you're going to drown. And you need to surround yourself, and it's hard, but you need to surround yourself with people who, will listen to you and they'll be like, "Okay, that's an excuse.
Yeah.
We're not doing that here." And that once again, that's every aspect of life. If you find yourself in that position where you're not going anywhere, I would look at who you're around.
Right.
Are you trying to load, and walk with a bunch of weight behind you, or do you have a bunch of people pulling with you?
Well, I think one of the hardest things too, guys, with New Year's resolutions or goals, whatever you want to call it, is timeline and not achieving it maybe when you thought you could achieve it or would achieve it. And I think of something, and really my whole high school career and then through college career, I think every high school athlete, especially a football player, one of their biggest dreams is to win a state championship.
Oh, absolutely.
And I remember going through high school, my entire 4 years of a state championship on my mind constantly. I would put in overtime hours with a state championship on my mind, and it was work. And I come to my end of my senior year, and we didn't win a state championship. So all that work, it would have been easy to look at all that work that I put in and be like, well, I didn't achieve my goal. So what's the point, or was it worth it? And at times, I think this is where a relationship with Christ is so important, because it will help you understand the bigger picture at hand.
Oh, yeah.
And I took the same mindset into college, and I had a great college career, and I did a lot of fantastic things. And I was the individual. I literally invented 2-a-day lifts, at my university on the football team. Many guys followed along when I started going in early in the morning and then late at night. And again, it was that mindset of hard work, trust in the process, that if I do this, X, Y, and Z, I'll get X, Y, and Z in return.
Yeah.
And again, I came to my end of my college career, and I maybe only got X, Y, but didn't get Z. Or I maybe only got X and didn't get Y, Z.
Yeah, I mean, as a team, you guys were very successful, but you never won the whole
Never won the whole deal.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't get the specific honors that I wanted,
Sure.
as a senior. So my point is, guys, is that the timeline, you said you might write these 2020 goals down, and they can be specific or as broad as you want to make them to a degree. Don't get discouraged, because at the end of the year, if you find yourself questioning yourself, well, I'm wasting my time, or 2020 was now a waste, or 2019 coming to the end of 2019 was a waste because I set out at the beginning of 2019 and I didn't get to achieve what I wanted to achieve. No, understanding the process is never ending. So my work ethic that I truly honed in and instilled onto myself in high school still carries over today into the process of my endeavors of entrepreneurship and whatever they might be, guys. Knowing that if you can fully grasp and understand that this isn't going to happen in a month, like we've said, or 6 months or a year, it can happen 5 years from now.
I think I mean, everything Josh's saying is correct, because everything you do, it's all about building the right foundation. But I think what people need to understand is everything in your life has a side effect. And when we say side effect, we automatically think negative. We think I take a medicine, it's going to make my stomach hurt or whatever.
Right.
No, not all side effects are negative. So if you create this goal, this list of what you want to accomplish and things that you want to do, and then your timeline fails per se, you didn't get to where you wanted to be, you need to look at the other side effects that were created, because I promise you a lot of positive things were done.
That's good.
So not all side effects are negative. There's a lot of positive.
Find the good.
It may take you longer to get to your goal. You may never reach your goal.
Right.
But within the process of chasing that goal, you learned a lot of other things that are positives, that had a positive effect, that you did positive things. And so you need to focus on the good things that are occurring and not really focus on the bad things. And we say it on here all the time. You look at the bad and you figure out, why did it happen? What can I do to prevent it from happening again?
Right.
That's a positive thing. Because by the time you start compiling all those things together, you're compiling experience, you're compiling effort, and you're compiling results.
Yeah.
And if you continue to do that, eventually your results get better and better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I think lastly, guys, coming to the end of the show, obviously we talked about business and entrepreneurship and coming to the end of a fiscal year for a business and evaluating.
Yeah.
I think it's super easy as a business owner to kind of look at the past year and then look at the coming year on what you can do better and be different. And that's all due to analytics and numbers.
Mhm.
And I think something this kind of leads me into my last point of what my New Year's goal is going to be, not resolution.
My goal is to have more intimate time with my wife. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, I got
I can
two.
only say that because you said I got two. I can only say that because I know she's not listening.
No, but this is this is super interesting because as a business owner, we can look back at our numbers and we know what to change and we know
Yeah.
what to fix. Well, as human beings, we don't necessarily have that data to look back on.
No.
So one of my specific goals that I'm going to try and I'm going to achieve at is somewhat of journaling. And I think it's important to be
That's a
able
good
to
one. That's a
look
good one.
back, guys, at times where we could improve at or where we did see growth in, because it's easy to get caught up in the storm and be like, am I even improving or am I even finding success in this goal? Having that knowledge of numbers and analytics and data to look back
That's
at.
really
Like,
good, dude. That's fantastic.
I'm doing it now.
That's
So,
fantastic. That'll be huge. So here's my challenge to myself and my challenge to everybody listening and viewing, and it'll be my challenge to Josh.
Yeah.
When you're sitting down and you're creating goals for 2020, here's what I would challenge you to do. I would challenge you to take basically what I consider the four corners of your life. Okay, humankind, physical, mental, and spiritual.
Yeah.
Set a goal for each of them.
Ooh.
And you say, well, humankind. Okay, here's my challenge to you as a humankind, being just humanly kind.
Yeah.
I want you to challenge yourself to get out of your shell. I want you to challenge yourself to meet someone new every day. And I want to challenge yourself to try to bring joy to someone's life. It may be saying hi to someone who is random. It may be starting up and sparking a conversation, whether you're in the food line, wherever you are, or at the mall.
Yeah.
Sharing that joy with somebody every day. That's humankind. Okay.
I like that.
Physical. What about you do you want to change physically? Start small, but have growth areas. Mentally and spiritually, same thing. Do a goal set for all of those. Don't be overwhelmed. Start small.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like even the humankind thing, I'm shy. I'm not really comfortable doing that. I'm going to tell you people right now, the worst thing that's going to happen is people are going to tell you to F off or they'll just ignore you. It's the worst thing that's going to happen. Best thing that's going to happen is you are going to be that positive experience for somebody every single day. And you'll never see the reward. Chances are you'll never see the reward, but you'll feel it.
We talk about that joy.
Oh, you'll feel it. I'm telling you, it's something I do on a daily basis. I'm constant with it, and I know what it provides me. And so I'd love to just share that with everybody else and just challenge yourself to do that. Just really share yourself, open yourself up to just share joy with other people. Yeah. That's my challenge. Four corners of your life. Set a goal for each
good.
of them, and then
That's
watch
good.
2020, something cool happen.
Let's, Mark, you and I, can we hold each other accountable?
Oh,
for,
yeah.
For these.
Well, he already knows next week I'm already going to be asking about his journal.
Right, exactly. So
He always
ask
picks
me
the
how
hard
it's
stuff
going.
because I'm like, man, journaling, woo!
Hey, I didn't say it had to be a full page now. All right.
His journal, January 1, this sucked.
All right. What did I get myself into?
No, it's fantastic, but it's small goals like that. I'm telling you, folks, start small,
Yeah.
build them up, leave area for growth.
Got to.
Leave area for growth. But
Yeah.
I think everybody can be so successful if you just apply simple steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get on the ladder, get on the trampoline.
For sure.
You know what I
Heck
mean?
yeah.
So it's good
No,
stuff.
That's good. So I can tell you, as we discussed, guys, let me figure out what this number was. What is it, Mark? 71%. All right. We talked about the number one New Year's resolution is health, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can tell you right now, the number one cheat code
Oh,
to overcome and complete and achieve as you're a part of that 71% of what is my diet going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The number one answer, guys, is order yourself some freaking visionary meals.
Yeah.
That is it. That's it right there.
Look, really quickly, if we put eating healthy into my circle, God first, God wants us all to be healthy, and we go down to your vision, I'm going to eat healthy. Okay. So how do we do that? I'm going to food prep.
Yeah.
What's my next one? What's my adversity? Food prepping.
Yeah, exactly.
It's super hard.
It is. It sucks.
You work every day. You
Right.
come home. You don't want to do this. Do
Yeah.
you know what's easy? Swinging through the drive-through.
Yeah.
Do you know it's easier? Going on your phone or your laptop and ordering your entire week's meals.
Just saying.
I mean, it is. It's do the math on what you spend in takeout, and then go on Visionary Meals and tell me it's not cheaper.
Yeah.
Not only is it better, it tastes better.
does.
It comes directly to you if you want it that way.
Correct.
Okay, and it's really, really good.
It's really good. It's affordable, guys. It's truly the best thing since sliced bread, as they would say.
Guys, I always get on there and I just, even though I'm not keto or anything, but I still go through like the keto menu. I go through all the menus, the
Yeah.
vegan menu.
Right.
I go through all of them because there's always something new on there. And I'm like, ooh, I want to try that.
Right.
Ooh, I want to try that. I
Th-
still haven't tried the wings. I need to try
Oh,
the
yeah,
wings.
the Korean fried chicken. It's fantastic. It's really, really good.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows somebody, so he gets all these free meals all the time.
I do know a guy. Actually, you know what? Fun fact for my entrepreneurs: the owner, the business owner, I buy my meals. Okay, all right. I buy my meals. So that's just part of the grind, baby. It's part of the grind. You
No,
have to
it
buy your
is.
own product.
There's nothing wrong with cheating.
No,
Changing a lifestyle is very difficult.
for sure.
And I think honestly, the best thing you can do for yourself is when you start out with your small goals, is make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And if you have a company that can be trusted, that can be dependable, and that's going to provide you, I'm telling you, you're going to get an education with Visionary Meals, because I know for a fact you can email Josh. I know you can call Josh and say, here are my goals, and he can help put together this diet plan, breaking down your macros, that when areas where you will struggle doing it generically, you will get a specific, really honed in plan that is strictly for you.
Correct.
And then he'll be able to tell you, these are all you'll be surprised at how broad your diet can be
Oh yeah, no doubt.
and still stay within your parameters.
Yeah.
I think most people fail at diets because they literally think, well, I can only eat 5 things.
Right.
You can eat so much, it's just you're not educated in what you can and
Yeah.
can't eat.
So many people think, oh, I'm on a diet. I got to eat salad.
Yeah.
Not true, guys. Let us help you out. So,
Yeah.
Visionary Meals is, guys, going into this 2020 new year, we should all continue to strive to be our better selves regarding to our health, guys, and to be the best individual that we can be. So, Visionary Meals, guys, is here for you to cater to your diet lifestyle, to change that lifestyle, guys. We take out the word diet nowadays and we make it a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's affordable, it's convenient, it's healthy, it's easy. And if you don't believe me, give it a shot. And if you didn't enjoy it, guys, money back guaranteed. I'll guarantee that. You got it on the show. Mark's my witness. It's in the audio. You can't deny that. So
You won't regret it. I'm
you
here
really
to tell
won't.
you, you won't regret it. Yeah.
yeah, it's
And once
definitely
again,
worth
we're
it.
happy that Visionary Meals, and Josh partner with and
For sure.
help support this podcast so we can bring you guys our randomized content. So, yeah.
We love it. I hope you guys are enjoying everything, and we hope as you guys kick off this new year, these goals are set. They're edged in stone. All right, hold yourself accountable. Find those individuals in your life to hold yourself accountable, because truly that's what it's going to be about. Mark, do you have anything else?
No, just be the best you.
Yeah, I love it, guys. Okay, just a reminder, 2020 is about to be a big year for Deliberately Linked specifically.
Oh, yeah.
We have a few things. We know we talked about doing a live show a while ago at an event near locally to us. That will be coming into the new year once we get through the winter.
We're going to have new guests in 2020. We're going to have new locations in 2020. Yeah. Ramping it up.
2020 for Deliberately
Josh
Linked
is
guys,
rocking
gonna be
some of the
fire.
new gear.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
if you look on YouTube, you see some of the
Yeah,
new
no
gear.
doubt. They are fire. They're
Yeah.
fire. So get a hold of us.
I think fire
guys.
means good, right?
Yeah,
Fire means
that's
good.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's outdated in 2020 or not, but, but I still say it. So get a hold of us, guys. If you're looking to get any apparel, guys, we'd love to hook you up. Website probably coming soon. We're kind of going with the flow right now. We appreciate all the feedback that each and every one of you that has been given us. Just a reminder, we're on all audio platforms, YouTube included. Video content on YouTube will be coming soon. And as far as social media goes, shoot us a follow, and we'd love to help you guys out. Deliberately Linked, signing out.